Somebody better lift up a roar in this place.
Welcome to my YouTube video. I do hope you're having a good day. My name is Rod Francie, as some of you may know. And again, I want to thank you for coming and spending a bit of time. I hope you're open to hear about a story I want to share. It's more than a story. It's actually a true story. It's a life's experience. It's something I point back to as almost a centerpiece of my life, at least a crossroads where I had an experience so powerful that it's almost unbelievable. But if I were to try and deny it happened, I would be a liar, because it's absolutely true, that which I'm about to share. I do again want to welcome any friends of mine, especially any friends from the old days. If you're here watching this, I definitely welcome you. I'm so thankful you're here. Any family members as well, or anyone else I've sent to this video. So I do ask you to bear with me. I pray that some of the words I speak would penetrate and touch your heart. I ask that God in His mercy would honor that which I'm about to share, and that your hearts would be open to hearing what I'm about to share. I'm not getting paid to do this, but this is something that happened, and it's my privilege to share it with you. Anyway, I was born in Toronto in 1966. I still live in Toronto. About 15 years ago, I came off the heels of many life's experiences, as many young people out of school, spreading my wings, many jobs, different relationships, a life's experience. I played in a band, had several different girlfriends and things like that along the way. Not unlike any other people, I was very socially gregarious. I loved socializing and going to different events and parties and things like that. I enjoyed that a lot. But really had a lot of questions as well about the world and why we were here. What was my purpose for being here? I was raised an Anglican in the Anglican Church, and I was taught about Jesus as a child, and I believed in God. I believed even in Jesus, I suppose. But as I got older, the message became a little more irrelevant to me as I went to the adult service, and I kind of shelved the whole idea of it. And as I observed the world, I really wondered why I was there, and what was my purpose and what was the purpose of planet Earth. And there was basically two observations I made. I used to like observing. I loved nature, watched a lot of nature shows, and I loved marine biology. And as you look at nature, there's such beauty and diversity. I mean, the plant life, the animal life, things in the ocean. I mean, it's amazing. Majestic mountains, beautiful valleys, sunrises and glorious sunsets. Caterpillars turning into beautiful butterflies, rainbows above our heads, frost on your window, each snowflake being different. I mean, it's just amazing. And the closer you look at it, the more amazing it gets. You put a microscope on this stuff and it gets even better. I mean, it's just more design and more complexity. It's just beautiful. And then people, the potential of humans to do good is amazing. I mean, we can all point to men and women who've sacrificially given to help their country, or for a cause in science, or to save somebody, or to write poetry, or whatever it is. The potential of mankind's amazing. So on one hand, there's such beauty, and then on the other hand, I saw really such a growing hopelessness, a growing corruption in society. First of all, the wars and things that we've all witnessed. People can't get along. I saw social problems in the nation. Our own country wanting to break up of Canada, one of the best countries, can't stay together. Families. I mean, the hurt that I see, I don't know what it's like where you live, but the things I've seen in families, people hurting each other, people not loving or caring for one another, walking away, just the breakdown, the foundational breakdown of families. Well over 50% of marriages ending up in divorce, leaving kids without fathers to basically raise themselves or be raised by the media. And we know what's going on with the media. This is certainly not helping. So I began to observe this corruption, this growing problem in the world, on the political, on the family, and the social, and in the nations. And I used to wonder who's got the answer. Science? No, I don't think it was science. As I looked at them, they never cure a family problem, really, or a war or anything like that. They come up with some good inventions, but that's about it. Education. Well, education, some of the most educated people are just as capable of barbaric acts and degradation as anyone else. Hitler, for example, surrounded himself with the top PhDs of his country, and look what happened there. So I wasn't looking to education as the answer. Religion, there's so many of them. So many disagree. Some of them even use violence to justify their points. I had basically given up that religion was the answer. So what was the answer? So I was working all these things through as a young man, and I had my own life's problems. I had my own problems. With all my socializing, I began drinking a lot, and you know what? I tried as hard as I could. I could not stop. I could not stop drinking. There were certain things that had a hold on my life that I couldn't seem to shake. I couldn't seem to let them go. They had a hold of me, and I was beginning to realize it to the detriment of my own life. And I wanted to do good, but I was finding it hard to do good. So I had all these things weighing on me, so it brought me to a bit of a low point one summer. And so many things were going on. I ended up going into my backyard at night, on a Saturday night. It was at 2 a.m. And I surmised that if I prayed to the God of the universe, if He existed, He would indeed hear me, and if He chose to, He would answer my prayer. That was my reasoning. So that's what I did. Went into my backyard, and a prayer arose from my heart, a simple but profound prayer came from my heart. I said, God, I said, Jesus, if you're real, you've got to help me, because I can't do it right here. And you know, what happened next, I was totally unprepared for. Now, I didn't know this at the time, but there's a scripture in the New Testament, in the Bible, that says this, that God gives grace or favor to the humble, but He resists or sets Himself against the proud. You see, I was a very proud young man, and I believe that God allowed circumstances of life and all the questions I was carrying to begin to break me down to the place where I was humble enough to admit I needed help. Well, I said the prayer, and I looked up, and I saw something amazing. I saw a beautiful bright light in my backyard. It was over top the trees, and I thought, well, this is a street light that I've never seen before. But as I looked at it, it began to grow larger. I've never seen a street light do that before. I realized it wasn't a street light, that this was a light that was coming closer to me. Not getting bigger, it was just coming closer to me. It was a glorious, beautiful light. I just finished praying this prayer. You know, nothing had prepared me for this moment. No grid, no framework had prepared me for this. I surmised this must be a supernatural event in light of my prayer, so this light came right over my head. What do? I mean, there I am. There's a light over my head, 2 a.m. in my backyard. What I did, I surrendered myself to this experience. And as I did, lights began to come out of this light. Millions and millions of small lights began to spiral around my body in both directions. I felt as if electricity was going through me, and then I felt as I was a little baby being hoisted in the arms of a perfect, loving Father. And there I was, resting in the arms of a loving, nurturing, powerful arms of a Father who loved me more than anything. And I was just in this moment, and suddenly a voice spoke to me. Now, it wasn't a voice that spoke to my ears. I heard it with my heart, but it was just as real. And the voice said this. It said, Rod, I love you so very much, and I love everyone so very much. And as I heard this voice say, I love everyone so very much, I somehow knew that the speaker of this voice meant every man, every woman, every child, every elderly person in every nation, of every tongue, every tribe, every kindred. That this voice was intensely interested and concerned with every living soul on planet Earth. Suddenly something broke inside me. I began to weep. I began to cry. I fell on my hands and knees, and the floodgates opened. And I cried for I don't know how long, but it all came out. And I cried and I cried. And I don't know, it's been years since I cried. When I got up, I thought, well, I guess my life will be all great now. You know, I've had this experience. I guess all my problems will be gone. I went to bed at a beautiful, peaceful sleep. Next morning I woke up, guess what? I woke up with the same problems that I went to bed with. Well, one thing that happened, it really got me thinking. The only thing difference was I had this experience that I could not deny. And I didn't tell a lot of people for obvious reasons, but I thought, well, if God answered this prayer, I believe He's going to answer more prayers. So I began to pray every day. I began to pray, God, show me who you are. God, lead me. God, show me your ways. Help me, God. I began to pray and ask for God to reveal Himself to me. Now, at the time I didn't know this, but there's scriptures in the Bible. One scripture is this. It says, God says in the Bible, cry out to me and I will show you great and wondrous things you know not. See, I was praying according to the Bible and I didn't even know it. There's another scripture that says, lift up your voice for wisdom and God will give it liberally. Well, I was doing this and God began to do wonderful things. One thing He did, He put it in my heart to ask my girlfriend at the time to buy me a Bible. My birthday was coming up. She went ahead and got me a Bible and I said, I'll read it every night. As I read the New Testament, wonderful things started happening. It was as if, like I would pray before I read it every night, and it was as if I was transported on the pages of that Bible. I felt as if I was literally walking down the road with Jesus and His disciples. As I saw all the interactions going on with Jesus, I felt like I was there. I felt what I was feeling, what they felt, hearing what they heard, smelling what they smelled. It was like I was right there. And I began to see who Jesus was. I began to see the real Jesus.
Somebody better